Hi, I'm Van Wallach. Reflecting on childhood events is one thing, reliving them is something else, and completing an activity you started in childhood is rarer still. I recently had that experience, going back over a half century to pick up on an activity I didn't finish at the time. Our story begins in the summer of 1967. The Wallach family is enjoying its annual vacation to San Antonio, where we always stayed with my mother's Aunt Sue. One evening, Aunt Sue took my mother, brother, and me to the Canyon Creek Country Club. Mom and Aunt Sue joined other relatives for adult activities, probably playing poker, while my brother Cooper and I parked ourselves in front of a TV set. It must have been set up in a lounge area. Well, the program on TV caught my 9-year-old attention. It was about time travel and it featured the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. Well, that I'd ever seen in my rather limited life experiences of what you would find for a soon to be fourth grader. Something interrupted our TV viewing and I never finished the program. Still, what I saw haunted me for decades to come. After 30 years, I finally figured out what I'd been watching. It was a rerun of the next to last episode of the first season of Star Trek. The title of the episode, The City on the Edge of Forever. Even after I realized that, I never bothered to watch the entire episode. Of course, for a long time that was impossible. What had once been very difficult to recapture, fleeting images from the era before DVDs or Netflix or even VHS, finally became ridiculously easy, and I had an opportunity to do it. So I decided this past week to tie up this loose end of my memory. Once I decided to finish watching the episode, I did a quick search and I found out that all the Star Trek episodes are on Netflix. So I settled in on Thursday night to immerse myself in Star Trek's endless epic voyage. So this episode is celebrated as the greatest Star Trek episode ever. Not being a Trekkie or a Trekker myself, I didn't know that. In fact, before I watched it, I didn't want to know anything about the episode. I wanted to go into it with the freshest possible eyes and perceptions. That way, I could watch it with the same level of wonder that I had as a 9-year-old on that summer night in San Antonio in 1967. I turned on Netflix, I found it, and William Shatner's spoken intro rolled over me like the cadences of a space prophet. You know what they are. Space, the final frontier, and these are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, and to boldly go where no man has gone before. I always get a shiver when I hear those ringing phrases. So the episode involves Dr. McCoy going wacky from an injection of something. He beams down to a planet and in a panic leaps through a time portal. Spock and Kirk follow him and land in Brooklyn in 1930. They have to find and bring Bones back. The key plot element involves a charity mission operator, Edith Keeler, played by the bewitching Joan Collins. I remembered her from 1967 as being very sexy. In fact, as I watched it in 2021, 54 years later, she was actually dressed very modestly. I've seen far more gyrations and sultriness in 1960s teen movies like How to Stuff a Wild Bikini. Well, I have to say, Dame Joan did have very moist, yearning eyes that she kept turning to Captain Kirk, with her lovely face being filmed with that gauzy, Vaseline-covered lens look that's reserved for the great film divas like Joan Collins. So Kirk falls in love with her. Well, you know how that turns out. Due to the twists of alternate histories that Spock unearths, Kirk has to leave her to an unhappy fate. In its commercial-free Netflix freshness, City on the Edge of Forever touched on eternal themes. I really liked what it had to say about fateful decisions, being a stranger in a strange land, empathy, responding to challenges, balancing individual desires against communal needs, and what we would say in modern 2021 terms, would you kill baby Hitler? Well, the episode deserves its stellar, to coin a phrase, reputation. It's got Cock, it's got Kirk, Spock's arched eyebrows, Bones, time travel, and doomed Edith Keeler. What a combination that was. So here I am, I tied up a loose thread from 1967. Nothing else quite like that dangles in my memory. That's one life experience regained from the past and left safely there now. Now it's time to boldly go where no van has gone before, wherever that takes me. Thank you.